Hello and welcome to this special training today that's essentially sponsored by Mr. Shark, as seen on TV, Kevin Harrington, and the late, great, amazing Zig Ziglar, as we're going to talk about the secrets of closing the sale today. Now, I'm your presenter today. My name is Jason Fladlien, and I stand before you with a very, very tall task, if I may say so myself. It's a task that if I succeed in, I will have helped you, and I will have honored a legend, a man who has since moved on to heaven, though he's left us quite the legacy of a treasure trove here on earth. In Amazon alone, there's over 430 books that Zig has. This is wisdom that I would argue has been, for the most part, lost and forgotten among the chaos that is today's modern life. And it's a little chaotic out there, isn't it? Now, what's my goal here today? My goal today is to bring to the forefront this treasure trove of knowledge, this wisdom that I feel has been lost, has been hidden, it's been buried, it's been forgotten in this deluge of technology and opportunity and choice. Now, what's my motivation here today? My motivation is very simple. I want to help you get everything you want out of business and life, because by helping you do that, it helps me get everything I want. So let me just ask you a simple question. Do you believe this statement to be true? This is probably the most notable, most famous, most impactful thing that Zig Ziglar ever said. If you could say, what's the one thing he said? It's you can have everything in life you want if you just give enough other people what they want. And that's what Kevin and I essentially are attempting to do for you here today. Now, I come to you today with a message more timely than ever, more important than ever, more impactful than ever, a message that unfortunately most people are more resistant to than ever. So this is a very tall task on my end. So in 2018, there are more opportunities than ever before. There are more opportunities to do well than ever before. There are more things to invest in, both in time and in money, for you to do well. But the problem is too many choices can lead to paralysis. Now, I don't know if you know this, but there are now a record number of Americans who are millionaires. There are more millionaires than ever. There are more billionaires than ever. But there is also more disconnect than ever. There is more feeling of isolation and aloneness. There's more confusion than ever. There's more opportunity to serve and become wealthy, but there are more choices, there are more considerations, there are more distractions, there are more stresses, and there are more challenges. This is the world that we live in right now, in this time, in this age. While there are more millionaires than ever before, there are more people struggling than ever before. In the media, on TV, in your Facebook news feeds, there's an onslaught of negativity that if you're not careful will drag you down, leave you broke, broken, devastated, and destitute. I'm here today to see that that doesn't happen. Because this is what Zig says, and I've tried to live my life by this. If you don't see yourself as a winner, then you cannot perform as a winner. So I'm here today to sell you the hardest thing anyone can sell to anyone else. I'm not here today to sell you a product. I'm not here today to sell you a service, a gadget, a widget, whatever. I'm here today to sell you on you, and I hope you're in a buying mood. Now you say, who are you, Jason, and why is it you on the call with me here today? Well, why me? Okay, I've been chosen, hand-selected specifically by Kevin and by Zig's foundation that essentially represents the rights to his work today because of my reputation for selling. So I hold the record for the biggest promotion selling somebody else's product, not my own product, where we did over $10 million in sales in less than 8 days, which is kind of crazy. It's crazy every time I say it out loud, and I'm sure it's crazy if you hear it, because 11 years ago, this is where I started my business in a tiny little 2-room apartment that I lived in with my dad in Muscatine, Iowa, right overlooking the Mississippi River, right next to the pawn shop and the secondhand clothing store. So this wasn't too long ago. This was in 2007. The first product I ever sold successfully online was November 12, 2007 for a whopping $4, of which I got to keep $3.58 of. I was in business, though. And then fast forward a short while later, and I was a millionaire. Cash money, I could write a check for $1 million and it would cash millionaire. And then not too long after that, I was a multi-millionaire. And you know what I really am, though? You know what I identify with the most? And you know what I wear as a badge of honor, as a pride, as a symbol, more than anything else in my illustrious career, my very young but illustrious career so far? I'm a salesman. That's who I am. I've sold physical products. I've sold digital products. I've sold software. I've sold coaching. I've sold consulting. I've sold in the B2B space. I've sold business to consumer. I've sold in 100 different plus industries last time I was counting. I've sold one-to-one. I've sold one-to-many. I've sold nose-to-nose, toes-to-toes, belly button to belly button, in person, over the internet, via text, via messenger, and everywhere and anywhere in between. I am a salesperson. And if it was worth buying because it provided way more value than the money to get it, then I've probably sold it. So they came from me. So Mark Tim and his business partner, Kevin Harrington, came from me. Kevin Harrington was an original Shark member of 3 seasons. He's been part of massive brands such as Ginsu. He's the ad seen on TV, the father of the infomercial. He's created 20 different companies that all exceeded over $100 million in sales and over $5 billion in sales total. And what happened next, I firmly believe, is something I'm confident will end up in the history books when it comes to the global shift in consciousness and wealth, if I can say so ever so humbly. My question to you is this. Who here has heard of one or both of these industry titans, Zig Ziglar and Kevin Harrington? If you have, type in yes into the chat box if you've heard of one or both of them. These are iconic individuals who have served and helped millions and millions and millions of people. And I know I'm not alone. And so I feel great honor and privilege today to do them justice. Now, Zig Ziglar is known as the father of motivational speaking. He's reached over 250 million people through his books and his presentations live. He's consulted with presidents, world leaders, the top of the top, the biggest companies that exist in the world. And what's interesting is for when Kevin Harrington says this, I listen. Kevin says more than anyone else, he attributes his $5 billion empire to what he learned from Zig because Zig taught him how to sell. Now, long before Zig graced the world with his positive messages, sharing the stages with presidents and various celebrities, he was a salesperson. He was selling everything from insurance to information products to pots and pans. And here's the interesting thing. When you're this powerful, as Zig clearly was, success leaves clues. So Kevin was the guy who actually pioneered the phrase, but wait, there's more, which is now entered the lexicon and the vocabulary of the English-speaking world, where people speak and reference what is essentially an advertising phrase, but wait, there's more. So Kevin not only helped put people like Billy Mays on the scene, but the wait, there's more was actually inspired from a lesson that he learned from Zig Ziglar. So this is how success can leave trails and clues back to, and it all seems to lead back to Zig, which is interesting because I don't know about you, but when I really want to get the most power that I can get in my business and personal life, I like to go straight to the source. Don't you? I think that's what we're going to do here today. So then versus now, this is what's the interesting thing I've learned about from Zig, is Zig taught selling to commission-based salespeople, typically in a one-to-one situation, in the living room or in the kitchen with the family gathered around the kitchen table. Kevin took the concept of this selling because the concept is it's the best possible way that you could be effective selling regardless of the situation, and he turned it into television and he turned it into one-to-many. But the premise was exactly the same. You know what the premise is? This is the first writer-downer that I would urge for you to make note of. Serve, then sell. Serve, then sell. So Zig took this concept of how do I sell? I serve first, then I sell. Kevin took that same context and served, then sold. I told this to my chiropractor recently, and she says, write it on the board because she was asking me about a business idea. So don't focus on the selling, focus first on the serving. She says, write that down and sign your name. She posted it on Facebook. This is a couple months ago. And then literally somebody says, the guy is a webinar guru. How'd you get hooked up with him? I'm a patient. Small world. When you know how to sell, you become famous if you wish to. Entrepreneur Magazine calls me the $100 million webinar man for how I use webinars to sell. What they did not know is that my story is almost exactly the same as Kevin's. So in 2014, I was asked to contribute to this book called Genius Wisdom. What were my 3 most impactful books I ever read? And number 2, not in order, was Secrets of Closing the Sale by Zig Ziglar. This is way back before I ever got mixed up with Kevin and in here before you today. And I made a commitment when I read that book that when I decided to get rich, I went to work and I studied and I learned everything possible. And I would urge you to make that same commitment if you haven't yet. Don't treat this as a hobby. Treat this as a lifelong obsession of passion, if you will. Now, I grew up in small town Iowa. I was living in Iowa City at the time, and I lived practically in the public library where, lo and behold, I found this 4 cassette tape series of Zig Ziglar actually speaking of Secrets of Closing the Sale. And I would take it and put it in my 1989 Toyota Celica. Mine's actually uglier and more run down than the picture of the one I could find on the internet here. And I listened to this obsessively over and over again. And it wasn't the only one I listened to. I listened to everybody's programs. I listened to every video, every audio, read every book I could in that public library in that university town. And when it came to selling, let me tell you this obscure audio cassette program by Zig was the best by far, not even close. When it came to selling, I didn't have any plans to sell face-to-face. I didn't want to work for somebody else. I wanted to run my own business. I wanted to be in business for myself. I wanted to market. I didn't want to be a salesperson. I just wanted to be a marketer. So I did the same thing that Kevin Harrington did. I took what Zig taught. I obsessed over it. I memorized it down to the word. Then I adapted it over the internet, and it made me a millionaire in short order. So anyone who says you can't get rich quick just doesn't follow the right programs. Now, the commonalities between myself and Zig and Kevin is, by the way, not personality-based, because we're as far from each other in personality as we absolutely could be, and not in business vehicle-based, because our businesses are dramatically different. The commonality is the exact same thing between us and you today, and it's this. You are in the business of selling, period. I think a lot of people don't realize this, and I think it leaves a lot of people trapped in a state of poverty. You are in the business of selling, period. Now, it doesn't matter if you sell face-to-face, over the phone, via Facebook ads, from the stage, in print, on the web. The goal is the same. What is the goal? The goal is to get someone to exchange a little bit of their money for a whole lot of value. That's the goal. This is ethical selling. Question to you. What do you call a business that doesn't sell anything? Well, you don't call it anything because soon that business will not exist. Here's the reality. Selling is the only thing that contributes to profit. Everything else is an expense, and nothing happens until something gets sold. And if you think this just applies to business, I urge you to reconsider, because selling is everywhere. If you have children, and I have 3 wonderful children, you have to sell them on eating healthy every single day instead of eating sugary junk food. If you're single, you have to sell yourself on someone as worth dating. And if you want to achieve more, you have to sell yourself on the fact that you can and you do deserve more. All great change was first sold. Martin Luther King sold equality and racial harmony. I Have a Dream wasn't a speech. I Have a Dream was a sales pitch. Right now, there are people selling socialism and communism against capitalism. And we have to sell capitalism against communism and socialism if we want to continue to have this great opportunity to get everything in life that we want by helping enough other people get what they want. Jesus Christ had to sell Christianity. Right now, somebody may be selling you on putting money in cryptocurrency and Bitcoin instead of in the stock market or elsewhere. Your email inbox kind of probably looks like mine, where there are 50 marketers plus every single day who are trying to sell you something. If you're doing something that is not in your best interest right now, then you're selling yourself on the short-term pleasure, on the instant gratification at the expense of the better lasting long-term benefit. Everybody is selling it all the time. The question is, if selling is so important and vital to success in business and life, doesn't it make sense to become better at selling? And the answer is yes, it does, of course. However, unfortunately, we're mostly a ball of emotions with just a touch of logic mixed in every now and again. What makes sense to do and what you're currently doing rarely seem to line up, especially true if you're struggling financially. So if you're the person who's struggling financially right now, who knows that within you is somebody who can achieve massive success in wealth, in life, and you're not quite there yet, what you know you should be doing and what you are doing are probably misaligned. Now, with selling, I've heard all the garbage excuses that people sell themselves on to stay misaligned. Excuse number 1, I don't have the time. And it's okay if you feel these. And I'm bringing these up now before I get into the stone cold, hard, tactical stuff that can put money in your pocket ASAP. And I promise I got a lot of that for you. But I want to make sure you don't bring in these biases that can keep you locked out from the wealth that you deserve. I don't have the time. This is an excuse that robs more people than anything. When I hear somebody tell me this, it's like a knife to my heart. Because if you truly understand selling the way that Zig taught Kevin and I, you'd realize it actually gives you time. Because you can sell more people in less amounts of time, and you can sell them for far more by giving them more value. So you can go on 1/10 the effort to sell somebody and make 10 times the amount of money. Selling is something that doesn't take time. Selling is something that gives you time. It's one of the only few skills, by the way, that can do that every single time if you invest to be good at it. Now, would you like to see exactly how it will make you time today and not take you time? Well, that's part of my goal here today. And if you could prove it to yourself, would you vow to the world to become better at selling? So if I showed you here today and you said, Jason, I don't have time, and I was able to help you convince yourself that, yes, now I do have even more time as a result of learning this, will you make a commitment to me today to get out of your own way and start to really take this stuff serious? That's excuse number 1. It's not the only one, unfortunately. Excuse number 2, I have more important things to focus on right now. I have people tell me this all the time, and it breaks my heart because I say, like, what? Sales cures all ills, and it's not just about the money either. Selling an idea, selling a new way, selling a better tomorrow. What is more important than that? Will you promise me to keep an open mind, and if it makes sense, reconsider some of your priorities and maybe bump selling at the top or near the top of that list of things that you should be focusing on right now? Okay? Is that it? Unfortunately, no, that's not excuse number 3. I hear this one more often than any other one. I'm not a salesperson. I'm not a salesperson. Well, let me let you in on a secret on that one. Salesperson is just a label. Steve Jobs didn't call himself a salesperson, but he's one of the greatest salespersons of the modern history. Elon Musk doesn't consider himself a salesperson, but right now he's selling a whole new planet to the world. That's a salesperson. Okay? Are you someone who feels like you should financially be rewarded in relation to how much value you provide? If not, then this isn't for you. I will never help you see the value of selling for yourself. But if you believe that you should financially be rewarded in relationship to how much value you provide, then you have to commit to apply the techniques I'll show you today. Will you do that for me? Excuse number 4, I'm too shy or I don't have the right personality. Now here's something you should know. Salespeople come in all shapes and sizes. I know amazing multimillionaire extroverts. I know amazing billionaire introverts, creative types, analytic types, and every in between. Would you entertain the idea that selling is personality independent? And much more important than personality is the desire to serve. Show me somebody who has a desire to serve, and I could turn them into a millionaire in short order. Do you wish to serve more and as a result, earn more? Well, this is for you. Excuse number 5, I don't have anything to sell. Now, so some people I asked earlier before we officially begin recording. Egads, I say to that. Did you know there are millions of products you can sell starting this very instant, today, that will pay you 50% of the commission of the sale? Now, why do you think people would pay 50% of their profits to somebody who sold their product for them? Well, it's obvious because that's how important selling is. When we sold $10 million to somebody else's product, guess how much we got to keep? We got to keep $5 million of it because that's how valuable selling is. A great sales pitch can sell an average product more easily than an average sales pitch can sell a great product for whatever it's worth. Now, your goal should be to sell a great product with a great sales pitch, but that's just how the world works. Excuse number 6, I don't have an audience to sell something to. This one tears at me, because there has never been a time in history when it's easier or quicker to reach people in need and help them than right now. I'll give you a hint. What's in everybody's pocket that we can instantly connect with them, just like that? Now, before reaching an audience, doesn't it make sense to know the most compelling way to engage that audience and help them? And what if these people are desperately looking for something but can't find it? How rewarding would it be to assist them in buying something that is just the thing for solving their problems? This is the value that you can provide if you wish to, if you choose to. Here's the bottom line. I have found people are either really good at making excuses or they're really good at making money, but no one is good at both. So I always urge people, pick the one that you want. Yet I can empathize. Selling does get a bad rap, doesn't it? And I would argue rightfully so, because most people think selling is something you do to someone instead of something you do for someone. The problem with selling is this. Someone who's immoral but knows some technique can convince people to buy things they don't need at higher than normal prices. And sadly, there are many who use professional persuasion skills in a deceitful way. And in fact, I would argue, don't you feel it's unfair to see other people who offer inferior solutions and use deceitful tactics taking your money? And I don't mean taking your money by buying from them. I mean, literally, you could serve those people better. That should be your money that they're putting in their pocket when you could serve them honestly, fairly, and with more value. Now, here's a huge insight. Selling is nothing more than a magnification of who you are as a person. That's it. Do you offer something of value? The better you sell, the more value you can provide. How does that land with you, by the way? Think about that. Who are you as a person? Selling will help magnify that. Do you consider yourself someone with integrity? If so, better selling means you get to exercise that integrity more often, and the world as a whole wins when this occurs. Isn't that wonderful? Do you consider yourself an honest person? If so, how can you, if you honestly know you have the ability to help someone, not feel obligated to help them, especially when the reward is so amazing? If someone were about to make a huge mistake and you could stop them, would you? Selling not only helps solve problems, it prevents them from even occurring in the first place, as long as you take the class, as long as you have it, because you can't give something to somebody that you don't first possess. Conclusion, this reward is only reserved for those who are willing to put in the effort. And can I count on you as one of those individuals who's willing to put in the effort? If so, you're going to love these 3 selling secrets that I have for you. If you came up to me and asked, Jason, what are the simplest yet most effective things you can show me in one single sitting that I could easily understand, immediately wrap my head around, and apply ASAP in my business and life? If you asked me that, I'd have a good answer for you. I would say, hey, listen, there are only three and only three secrets that you need to know. Would you like to know what those are? Here they are. Write these down. We're going to unpack these and go into depth on these. I promise you will have things that you can immediately do as a result of these 3 secrets that will show up in your life in a valuable way. Selling secret number 1. Selling is something you're born with, unlearned, and then have to relearn again. So I'm going to prove this to you so you can understand it's already within you. It's just been caged and we're going to unlock it. So automatically you can repossess it. That's selling secret number 1. Selling secret number 2, people buy what they want when they want it more than the money it costs. Then they want, sorry, let me say that again. People buy what they want when they want it more than they want the money it costs. This is value to price. Secret number 2, very simple. And how often will people do that? All the time. Provided, of course, they understand that. Selling secret number 3, most people fear making decisions, even those that are in their best interest. Once you understand this, it will revolutionize how you approach making money, creating wealth, and how you live your life. These are the 3 selling secrets. Let's talk about the first one. Selling secret number 1. Selling is something you're born with, unlearned, and have to relearn again. Now, first of all, this is great, isn't it? What's this imply? It means you just have to find what you once had but lost. It means you can do this for certain, and you were born with it. So I've seen various different studies that more or less, not exactly these numbers, but fall in line similar to these numbers. So here's something that Christianity Today recently posted, and it is that adults, we ask 119 less questions than we did as children. So children typically ask 125 questions per day, and adults ask just about 6 questions per day. So somewhere between childhood and adulthood, we lose 119 questions. I've seen the numbers as much as 430 less questions a day. So the sources vary, and how they measure it may vary a little bit one way or the other, but the answer is still always the same. Children ask a ridiculous amount more questions than adults do. And why do you suppose that this is important? Well, when it comes to selling, questions are the answer. I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but selling is more about asking the right questions than anything else. See, I think this is a mistake a lot of people don't get, and this is why they become resistant, or this is why they're not very good at selling, because they're talking too much instead of asking questions. But I don't just think you're going to accept this from me. Let me prove it to you. Let me demonstrate you a technique that Zig taught me that has made me millions of dollars, and hopefully I can pass it on to you, and you can make millions with it as well. Question number 1, have you ever sold something to someone before? If so, type in yes to the chat box. Have you ever sold something to someone before? And I'm looking at the chat box right now, and I'm seeing we have a lot of salespeople here. Now, I don't know if you identified prior to coming on this call as a salesperson or not, but hey, if you sold something to somebody before, congratulations, you're a salesperson. Question number 2, have you sold something to someone that helped them and left them satisfied to have exchanged money for that help? So if you sold something to somebody and they were happy with what they bought, oh my God, now we have professional salespeople on our hands, and we have lots of them, not just a few of them. We have hundreds of them that are right in front of me today on the other end of this virtual connection that we have together right now. Now, question number 3, let me ask you this. Have you sold something to someone where they benefited from it way after you spent the money you earned from the sale? So your benefit ran out, but their benefit continued. Has that ever happened to you? And again, I'm seeing yeses. Plentiful amounts of yeses. Question 4, let me ask you this. Who was the biggest winner in the situation? You or the person you sold something to? And the answer is it's the person you sold something to, right? Isn't that interesting? Now, chances are, you already spent all your profits you made from that sale, and some of you spent your profits even before you made the sale. I don't judge. And chances are also that the person you sold to continues to benefit from the transaction far after you had spent all the money. So the real question here is, selling done correctly entitles you to make more profits the more problems you solve, doesn't it? That, my sales friend, is the power of knowing how to ask the right questions. By asking clarifying questions, by getting you to consider things that are already true, but I'm not telling you they're true necessarily. You are coming to the realization on your own, and I'm helping you understand the value that you're looking for. That is the essence of selling. That is the power of it. That's the value. That's how you serve. Now, here's some insider information for you. When I got started working with Kevin to help get this lost treasure trove of knowledge that Zig left behind back out and in use in the public, I got access to the Zig Vaults. This includes material that is no longer available publicly, and this also includes material that has never, ever seen the light of day. And I went through everything. It was better than any Christmas I've ever experienced in my life. And one of the things that I discovered was this little obscure training program captured on video from Judge Ziglar, which is Zig Ziglar's brother. Now, what's interesting is Judge at one time, he passed away several years ago, but was one of the top salespeople in the U.S. And it kind of goes to show you anyone who hangs around Zig and listens inevitably seems to do well. But the reason I bring this one up, this one got me very excited when I was going through it. Timid salesmen have skinny kids. Judge tells the story of he's in the hospital one day because one of his kids is sick, and his kid is fine. So he decides, hey, while I'm here, I might as well sell some cookware. And he starts to sell cookware. And he's trying to sell cookware to a doctor while at the hospital, and he does it by asking only 3 questions. Maybe it's 4. We'll see, right? Because here's what he discovered. He discovered the doctor already had owned some aluminum cookware, which was cheap and was inferior to the cookware that Judge sold. And here's how Judge helped him make a better decision with the following questions. Question number 1, does this hospital have any bedpans in it? And the answer is, of course. Indeed, it did. Question number 2, are those bedpans made out of aluminum or are they made out of stainless steel? And the doctor says that they're made out of stainless steel. And then Judge says, how come you can't just make them out of aluminum? Aluminum's cheaper. And the doctor says you can't clean it as easy, nor can you sterilize aluminum. And Judge then asked the last question that he needed to ask to make this sale, a multi-$100 sale back in the 70s when that was a lot of money, right? 4 questions, closes the sale just like this. Here's what he says. So are you saying aluminum is clean enough for your wife to cook in? And he didn't even finish the sentence before the doctor bought, because the implication is clear. It's okay for people to cook in this, but it's not okay for them to go to the bathroom in it, right? Powerful. This is the power of the right question. Here's some instant cash for you that can immediately be realized. It's waiting for you to claim it. I'm confident you can instantly improve your financial situation just by taking a look at the questions you're asking when you're doing business. If you just said, hey, what types of questions am I asking? Am I asking purposeful questions? Am I really putting in an effort to make sure I'm asking the right kinds of questions? Am I asking enough questions? Because here's what I know. In general, most people hardly ask any questions. Some people ask just some questions, but professionals ask the right questions the right way at the right time, because questions sell. Questions more than anything sell. And who does this? Children do it. You were born to do this. It's natural. That's why it works so well. It's just that we've had the natural tendency beaten out of us. And children get this. This is my daughter, Lainey. She's 7 years old. And she's already on her way to becoming a better salesperson than I am. And even though I've made millions, she's already way ahead of me. And recently, the book fair, the Scholastic Book Fair, came to town. And Lainey really wanted this book, The Secret Puppy. And she wasn't going to let the fact that she didn't have any money stop her from getting it. And this is really, really powerful if you think about it. This is a lesson that Zig has taught for years. Now, their first attempt was this. It didn't work, by the way, but this was her first close. And it's rare that the first sales close works. And I'm going to talk more about that a little bit later, because I think that could vastly change how well you do this year. So Lainey's first close went like this. She went to her friend's mom with this question: can you buy this book for me today, and then my dad can pay you back later? What a good question. Now, would you believe that her friend's mom sends over a text asking, is that okay? Can I buy the book? Now, I'm excited. I don't know about you, but I'm looking at this as a teaching moment. So I say, hold on. I'll take care of it. I'll discuss it with Lainey when she gets home. So here's how this went down. This is the closing series of questions used. This was the whole conversation, essentially. Question number 1, Dad, you've told me how important it is to read. I think you called it bread for the head, didn't you? And I did. It's a Jim Rohn quote, bread for the head, right? Yeah, that's true. Question number 2, didn't you buy my sister 3 books when the book fair came into town last time? And that was also true, because she asked. So I did. Question number 3 is $9. Is it much, is it? Well, no, not for a book. Not for this, but I only have a $20 bill, honey. So question number 4 is, if I give you the change back, can't you just give me the $20? Fair enough. So I do. I say, okay, here's the $20. Just bring me back the change. And now here's the advanced question. This is the really serious overachiever question. So you don't have to be this good. You don't have to force yourself to be the overachiever if you don't want to. And there's plenty of money out there that other people can make, right? But this is the advanced question. If I see a bookmark that's like only $1, can I get that too? And here is the receipt she brought home the very next day. And if you look very closely, not only is the Puppy Secrets for $9.99, but there's the upsell for you, the bookmark for 50 cents. That is closing. That is how you make the sale. Not by making statements, not by claiming things, not by doing facts, but asking the right set of questions more than anything will give you immediately leverage in your business and in your personal life. Now, I want you to imagine if instead of questions, she spoke in statements. I want this book. You should buy this book for me. Give me the money. It's good for my education, etc., etc. The questions approach is much better, isn't it? Yet, questions are missing from your day-to-day professional and personal interactions. I know this because, quite frankly, we've lost the art of asking questions. It's been beaten out of us since we were 6 years old. And Zig said it best. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, and questions are how you show that you care. So, again, because success leaves clues, here's this gentleman here, Ryan Levesque. Ryan Levesque wrote one of the top bestsellers, his #1 national New York Times bestseller for this book called Ask, where he taught this method of selling online. So people say, oh, Zig stuff is old, it's outdated. You know, it worked once upon a time, but it doesn't work today. Give me some fancy technological solution. Well, Ryan built this whole Ask campaign technology around these concepts, most of which he learned from Zig. Because as he says right here, Zig was huge and instrumental to his own personal success. And he built a whole massively multi-seven-figure business all around the concept of asking questions. I did a little research for this presentation, and Gong has some of the best research I noticed. They analyzed 519,000 sales calls, and they noticed massively the relationship of questions asked and the chance of success when it came to closing the sale. So average performers ask 6.3 questions, and top performers ask 10.1 questions. So here's my question to you. Would you give someone a $100 bill for something you felt was only worth $20? And the answer is no. Question number 2, would it matter if this person knew every sales close in the book, every technique, every fancy schmancy 5-word phrase, blah, blah, blah? And the answer is still no, of course not. Question number 3, suppose this person told you that buying from you would help feed their family, or that you buying from them would help feed their family. Would you spend, in that case, if they use the pity close, would you give them $100 for something you felt was only $20? And the answer is, of course, is still no. But what if it were reversed? What if you had something someone thought was worth $100 and you were only asking $20 for it? Would you likely get a yes in that situation? And the answer is yes, if they are aware that the value is far in excess of the asking price. What's the point? The point is selling is in part asking the right questions, and in part having something of superb value properly communicated so the value is most easily realized, which leads us to secret number 2. Are you ready for it? Secret number 2 is people buy what they want when they want it more than they want the money it costs. Here's the reality. You make the sale when the person understands it will cost more to do nothing about the problem than to do something about it. Do you believe that someone who is qualified to be your customer is a loser if they don't buy what you're offering? This is a very good question. Do you believe that someone who is qualified to be your customer is a loser if they don't buy what you're offering? And if the answer isn't yes to that question, then you're selling the wrong product. And that's easy to fix, but this is impossible to fix. You truly have to believe, whatever you're selling, that somebody is a loser if they're properly qualified if they don't buy what you're offering. If you don't believe what you offer is worth more than the money it costs to get it, then there is no way you can comfortably assist someone in buying that thing. However, if you truly do believe that the right customers who you reach out to are losers if they don't buy from you, then that's just the first step to success. There's more to it, unfortunately. We've got to do a little bit more work, right? See, here's the problem. Here's what I know about you. In the next 24 hours, your heart's going to beat 103,689 times. Your blood will travel 168,000 miles. You'll inhale 23,240 breaths. You'll exercise only 7 million of your 9 billion brain cells. You'll speak 4,800 words, of which 3,200 will be something about yourself. And you'll never buy a product or service that you don't know the overwhelming personal, selfish to you value of. This is the reason You don't buy the home for the backyard, but for the shade of the trees. You don't buy the camera for the megapixel count. You buy it for the memories it captures. You buy the birthday cake not to feed the belly, but to celebrate another year on Earth. You don't listen to the music for the notes, but the emotions that those notes stir up. Here's some opportunity. The gap between how things are being sold and how people want to buy is becoming greater and greater each and every year. And I blame technology for this. Because technology is all about features. Technology is about, well, it has this and it has that, but people don't care what it is. They care what it can do for them. So more than ever is this valuable to you once you understand what Zig has taught, which is timeless and the best of the best. How do you fix this, though? How do you learn this skill and apply it and see the results? First of all, I would recommend that you do a little shift in perspective. Don't think of yourself as a seller. Imagine yourself as a buyer's assistant. You are assisting the buyer. If you do nothing more, by the way, then this next thing I'm about to tell you, a dramatic upgrade to your fortune is in your future. So are you ready for it? All right, here it is. Here's your job. Your job is to make it as easy as possible for someone to buy something you both know will be more beneficial for them than the money it cost. Your job is to make it as easy as possible. And isn't that nice? That implies that you're serving, that you're giving a benefit, that you're being helpful. And that's really, truly, ultimately the best lesson that Zig ever taught. It starts with value. You lead with value. You establish value. You solidify value. And then and only then do you help the buyer determine if it's worth them to exchange a little bit of their money for a whole lot of that value that you have. Now, I find you today in one of the two situations, and we asked you this earlier. Situation number one, you don't have anything to sell yet. Cool. Find someone else's product that you know is worth way more than the price that they're asking for it. Sell it for them and split the profits. That's how I made my first fortune. And in fact, that's how, Kevin sold a lot of products that weren't his, and so did Zig. Or you already have a tremendous offering. Excellent. Combine the question-based approach that we talked about in the first secret with the value-focused sales presentation secrets I'm about to show you, and watch your profits skyrocket. Listen. Once you have something you truly believe is worth far more than the price it costs to acquire, how often should you attempt to sell it? And the answer is as often as humanly possible, isn't it? Listen, wouldn't you feel a sense of loss for someone who would absolutely benefit from your product, but because you didn't help them see the value, they missed it? Whose fault is that? It's a common sentiment to say, well, it's not your fault. When you sell something to somebody, I'm telling you, you're not doing them a service if you do that. It is your fault. But you know what's good about that? That means it's something you control. That's something you can change if you wish to. Okay? Now, in this situation, would you be willing to put in the work to go the extra mile to demonstrate value, be helpful, and make a profit assisting someone in the buying process? This isn't about doing as little as you can to get by, right? This is about sincerely caring and knowing that you provide and can help somebody else. And it just so happens that the more people you help, the more money you make. So it might mean that you have to go the extra mile every so often, but is that a fair exchange for the results it can produce? Now, with value, if nothing else, here's what you need to do immediately. If you really want to upgrade, add a zero or a couple commas to your bank account, right? If nothing else, master the art of using repetitive benefit phrases. Repetitive benefit phrases. This is something I learned from Zig very, very early on in my career. And it made such a major difference for me, even though it was so easy to put into place. If you were to take a transcript of this presentation thus far, we're about 45 minutes in, and count the number of benefit statements I've used, it would already exceed over 100. Okay? Now, what are benefit statements? Let me demonstrate it to you by taking a look at an adaptation that I wrote of one of Zig's favorite poems. So I took this poem called I Am a Salesman, and I modernized it, and I updated it. And this is one of Zig's ultimate favorite poems. Let me read it to you. I am a salesperson. I'm a salesperson. I'm proud to be a salesperson because more than any other, I and millions like me built the world around us. Those who made better mousetraps or better anything would starve to death waiting for somebody to beat a pathway to their door. No matter how good or needed a product or service is, it has to be sold. Edison was laughed at when he first debuted the light bulb. The first sewing machine was smashed to pieces by a Boston mob. The telephone was seen initially as a device with inherently no value. Who wants to hear actors talk was the general sentiment in the era of silent movies. And the public doesn't demand these things. They have to be sold. They need thousands of salespeople, trailblazers, pioneers, people who can persuade with the same effectiveness as the inventor could invent. Salespeople took these inventions, sold the public on what they could do, taught the customers how to use them, and taught businesses how to profit from them. As a salesperson, I've done more for the modern world than any person you know. I was just as vital in your great-great-great-great-grandfather's day as I am in yours, and I'll be just as vital in your great-great-great-granddaughter's day as well. I brought prices down. I pushed quality up. I've made it possible for you to enjoy electric cars, smartphones, and air conditioning. I've healed the sick, given security to the aged, put thousands of men and women through universities. Whether in the future you enjoy a vacation on Mars, 3D printing your home, or living to be 150 years old depends on me. Without me, the wheels of the industry come to a grinding halt. And with that, jobs, marriages, politics, and the freedom of thought would be a thing of the past. I am a salesperson, and I'm both proud and grateful that as such I serve my family, my fellow men and women, my country, and the world at large. I am a salesperson. Wow. Whew. Felt pretty good, didn't it? Now, how much better off would you be in business and life if you can communicate like that? Well, you can, once you learn to speak more often with benefit phrases. Let's take a little closer look at that benefit statement, repetitive benefit phrases that were contained just in this short, simple poem. Here they are. I'm not going to read every single one of them to you, but this just gives you an idea. Brought prices down, pushed quality up, created, educated more people, et cetera, right? And this is not just one time. If you analyzed all of these infomercials that have helped Kevin to $5 billion worth of sales, you'd be blown away by how many benefit phrases that were used, like in the Ginsu and in the first, which was the first infomercial essentially that Kevin brought out to the public. And actually, believe it or not, I'm being pinged right here by one of my organizers. I believe Kevin actually is here right now, which was not something that we had talked about in terms of him being here. I said, let me run and let me go. Let me do my best. But hey, if we can unmute Kevin, if he is actually here, because we're seeing that Kevin has been showing up in the chat box. Let's see if we can get him unmuted here. If somebody can help me.
Jason, Kevin.
Harrington!
I'm here, buddy.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. I love everything. I'm listening. I've been, you're spot on. I've been listening, and I'm like, just excited about all the stuff that you're talking about. So thank you.
So Kevin, since I got you here real quick, you shared with me a story last week when we were having lunch about selling Ginsu, which was like, correct me if I'm wrong, that was like your first big thing that you put on an infomercial and put it out there, right?
Yep.
And I remember you telling me, so I'd love for you to say it because I'm probably not going to say it just right, but you said the big breakthrough to this, and I think this went on to be like $100 million company or even bigger than this, was when you guys started stacking bonuses.
Yeah.
So can you elaborate on that? Because I thought this was so insightful when you told me.
Yeah, so when I first met the guy, his name was Arnold Morris, he was demonstrating the Ginsu knife at the Philadelphia Home Show. I watched him demonstrate, cut through a Coca-Cola can, through a pair of sneakers, through a muffler. Very, very powerful in person. And there was 10 people crowded around him, and like 5 or 6 of them bought, it was the Ginsu knife. If you buy right now, you get a second one for free. So, 2 Ginsus for the $20. It was amazing. So people touched it. They got to talk to Arnold when he was done. They loved it. They bought it, and it worked. And I watched him do it again and again and again. He collected thousands of dollars in a matter of minutes when I was in front of him. So when I said, Arnold, I love the pitch, but you do this 40 weeks a year in front of 10 people. Let's film it and put it in front of millions. Maybe you won't have to travel anymore. He about kissed me because he thought, wow, I love that idea. I never even heard about this. What are you talking about? Because no one had ever done these infomercials before. And so I said, well, we're going to film it. We're going to put it up on TV, and we'll put an 800 number on the back of it. So when we shook hands, we did the deal. We got a contract. We filmed it. And then when we put it on TV, this was the interesting thing. I just assumed it was going to just go through the roof because Arnold had been doing this very successfully. But what happened was, imagine this. It's now going over the TV airwaves. you're hitting people in their living room. They're watching it, or maybe the wife's in the kitchen and she's cooking dinner, or the kids are screaming and back and forth. She's not catching everything. It's at the end of the spot. Oh, it's 2 of these for $20. And make a long story short, it's because it's through the TV airwaves and not in person, it was missing something, missing the power, missing Arnold in the living room. And so we found out the sales were soft in the very beginning, and we didn't know what to do. So we called the people. We were getting, for every 1,000 calls, only 50% of the people were actually ordering the product. So I'm thinking they watched this 30-minute show, picked up the phone, called, and half of them weren't ordering. And you know what we did? We called them back and found out they didn't believe there was enough value. So people were like, well, you know, it's this, I've seen on TV. I want to touch it, feel it, this, that, you know, etc. So make a long story short, this is where the mastery of Zig Ziglar comes in, because Zig said that it's when you have a selling price and the value is below the selling price, you're not going to make the sale. So people were sitting there watching the show, kind of liked the show, actually, we found out, because it was kind of fun and exciting to watch, cut through a muffler and a Christmas tree and things that were kind of crazy to watch on TV. But were they going to spend $20 for 2 of them? Half of them weren't, because they weren't convinced the value is there. So what do you do when the value is below the selling price? You add value stacks. So we said, okay, we got to convince these people they have to buy this. So you get the Ginsu knife for $19.95. You get the second one we're going to throw in right now, 2 Ginsus for $19.95. But wait, there's more, if you've heard that one, right, Jason? So now we add value. You're going to get 6 free steak knives, a paring knife, a fillet knife, etc. And we added value stacks on top, so that you weren't just getting the 2 knives. We said we got to throw a ton of value at them, raising the value above the selling price. And now we converted 80% of the orders, supercharged the business. It took off like crazy. This didn't do 100 million. This went to hundreds and hundreds of millions. Actually, over time, the Ginsu became over a $500 million success on a global basis. So that is an unbelievable story. And it all goes back to value stack, and just one of the closes that Zig Ziglar puts in his program. So I owe a lot to Mr. Ziglar.
Kevin, thank you so much for sharing that with us. And I really appreciate you popping on here today, because I know you guys are filming all day today. So, but I know you couldn't resist coming on here because of what we're talking about with Zig and everything. So I don't want to keep you any longer. Let's everybody thank Kevin. Tell him you appreciate him coming on here today. Kevin, I'm honored to be here for you, my friend. And let me know if you need anything else from me, okay?
Okay, buddy. Good luck, Jason.
Awesome.
It's great just to sneak on here and say hello. So good luck. Talk to you soon. See you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, cool. Wow, that was actually pretty neat. I found, by the way, working with Kevin, he always over delivers like that. So it's absolutely been a pleasure. And it was interesting because Kevin was talking about adding value, and we're talking about using repetitive benefit phrases. That's one way to stack value. Repetitive benefit phrases on their own is an easy way to immediately improve value in somebody's business, or in terms of the conversation of the sell, to improve your business. But then when you add bonuses to that, not only does that allow you to more than stack additional value, but allows you to use more benefit phrases too, because every time you introduce a new steak knife or a new knife, you have a new benefit that's associated with it. And the more bonuses you do, not only is it more obvious, wow, look at all I get for the small amount of money I'm exchanging to get it, but you also say, ooh, and there's the benefit of this, and there's the benefit of that. And benefit phrases are what make phones rings, what make credit cards get pulled out, what make money gets exchanged for value. Yet sadly, when it comes to benefit phrases, 99 out of 100 sales pitches out there, you'd have to listen real close to even hear anything close to a benefit statement. So remember this, when you're selling, it's not the bed, it's the refreshing night of sleep it provides. It's not the dinner, it's who you eat the meal with. It's not the life insurance, it's taking care of your family after you no longer physically can. It's not the airbag, it's living to see another day. It's not the toy, it's how it lights up the child's eyes, they play with it. It's not the gym, it's how you look and feel in those pants. Now, Zig said it best. Money will buy you a bed, but not a good night's sleep, a house, but not a home, a companion, but not a friend. The benefits, that's what you need to get clear on. Getting clear on the benefits not only sells the buyer, it sells you on the importance of what you're doing and why you should do it with all the gravity it requires. All right, does that make sense? So often I think the reason why we don't value sales at the level that we should is because we ourselves are unclear of the benefits of what we're providing and the value we're offering, because we get so focused on what it is, not what it does. And this will help you, and this will help the people that you can help more of them. And as a result, helping them get what they want is going to be the key to helping yourself get what you want. Now, here's some other big ideas when you can play around with value. I've given you one with benefit statements. Kevin came on impromptu, gave you another. Here's a couple other big ideas. To help you communicate that what you're selling is worth far more in value than the money is required to exchange it, consider using imagination. A little bit of imagination could go a long way. There's this old story of an insurance agent trying to sell insurance to soldiers who were about to go into battle, and nobody was buying. But then the sergeant sold it expertly. He says, who do you think they put on the front line? The insured or the uninsured? Good question, right? Now, if you could only sell something in one sentence, what would that sentence be? I urge you to do this exercise. Whatever you're selling or could sell, if you could only use one sentence to sell it, what would that sentence be? This will unlock for you imagination in a way that will so effectively and more powerfully cut through and be able to make sales occur. Number two, understand that you persuade, you don't convince. It's nearly impossible to convince anyone of anything. You convince people of something, but you persuade people to do something. So when you're going out there trying to make money, ask yourself this question: am I convincing instead of persuading? Often that is usually the case when it comes to not being successful to the level that you know you're capable of. Number three, understand this: high pressure selling is impossible as long as you lead with value first. It's not a matter of being comfortable with selling or not being comfortable with it. It's about being efficient at providing value in advance of the sale. Do this and you'll sell more. Don't do this and you don't deserve to sell more. So high pressure is impossible as long as you lead with value. Number four, better to overdo it. Zig's been on sales calls for hours that usually take minutes. Kevin took his 30-second commercial format and turned it into a 30-minute information-based commercial. A webinar is not a 5-minute deal. Sometimes they can go on for hours. We've been here almost exactly 1 hour to the minute by focusing on value. Demonstrate you're willing to be there more for your customers, and you'll get more customers. Number five, consider dramatic examples. When Zig sold a heavy set of stainless steel cookware to prove it was incredibly durable, here's what he did. He got a local police officer to take a .45 caliber revolver, shoot the frying pan with a steel-jacketed slug from 12 feet away, and you could barely tell that that pan had actually been shot. So then Zig would take this pan with him and a notarized letter from the policeman, and nobody doubted for 1 second when Zig said this is a lifetime set of cookware. So a dramatic example can go a long way to providing value. And Kevin alluded to that earlier when he says cutting mufflers in half with knives, right? Now, this is important to understand. If you have many benefits and a lot of valuable information that would assist the buyer in saying yes to something that is better for them than the money they exchange to get it, how much info do you provide before asking for a yes decision? That's the art. That's why you have to make a commitment to get good at this. And here's another question, more important: what if they don't say yes right away, even though they should? So you've provided a lot of value to them. You show them that this would be good for them. You know it's good for them. You say, okay, let's get started. They say, well, I don't know. Then what do? That's when you rely on secret number three. Most people fear making decisions, even those that are in their best interest. If you don't understand this, you're going to set yourself up for disappointment. And if you're disappointed, you're not going to pursue what's worthy of pursuing, and you're going to end up not in a position that you want to be in. Most people fear making decisions, even those that are in their own best interest. Now, here's some exciting news. Most people that you talk to really do not want to say no, because to say no is to be so final. A no is a final thing, right? So rather than saying no, here's what most people say. They say, oh, I want to think about it. Or I've got to talk to my lawyer, my wife, my husband, my CPA, my dentist, my dog, my clergyman, et cetera, right? Now, this might be shocking to you, but I actually have some evidence that some of them will even lie to you instead of saying no. Now, here's where fortunes are lost. Fortunes are lost not in the no. It's in the I want to think about it. to put this into perspective, let me ask you a few questions, right? Question number one, do you consider yourself a reasonably honest person? Yes or no? Okay. Question number two, have you ever told a salesperson you want to think about it? Interesting. Question number three, now, did you honestly, legitimately, seriously, and carefully think about the offer that was made to you? Could it be you, as an honest person, were just trying to get rid of that salesperson? And this has happened to every single one of us at some point in time or other. And that's not even the worst of it. It gets worse. Most people don't even get to a think it over. Because according to the latest sales statistics that I have on hand, 63% of all sales calls end without the salesperson asking for the order. What? What? How is that possible? This is truly depressing. When I look at people, genuinely good, honest, great people who are still stuck in a financial situation that is not good, yet they're not out there when they could simply ask, they're not asking. Here's what it looks like. 63% of people never ask when they're in a sales situation. So 2/3 of people, 2 out of 3 times, nope. Now 15% of people ask 1 time. 8% of people ask 2 times. 5% of people ask 3 times. Salespeople, right? 4% ask 4 times. Yet over 50% of all sales are made after the 5th ask. So what's the deal here? Are you saying, Jason, that only 5% of salespeople ask more than 5 times on average? That's exactly what I'm saying, even though half of the sales occur after the 5th ask. Why do you think this is? Well, I'm going to show you why. Question to you. How much do you get paid for the sale that almost happens? Exactly. Give me what's the exact figure? What's the exact dollar and cent figure for how much you get paid for a sale that almost happened? And the answer is it's $0. 5% of salespeople make 88% of sales, and they deserve it because they're willing to prepare in advance for them. They're willing to be in a position where they know it's okay to continue to ask for the order if they truly understand the value that's provided and what the other person on the other end wants. 5% of salespeople make 88% of sales. Who do you want to be? You want to be this 95% or do you want to be those 5%? I want you to understand this. We are programmed as individuals to say no, or more specifically, not now, in order to survive. Because if we said yes to everything, we'd be broke and dead within a few months probably. We are much better creatures at delaying decisions than making decisions, regardless of what those decisions are. This is why you have to ask more than 1 time. You say, Jason, I don't want to be pushy. Well, then you're going to be broke. You don't have to be pushy, and you can still ask more than 1 time. But because people are programmed to say no or not now by default as a survival mechanism, and because people have got in the habit of doing this, and they're very comfortable doing this, even when it's not in their best interest, they continue to do this. Nobody is better off if you just give up on them. And also, understand this, people love to buy more than they like to be sold. By saying not yet a few times before saying yes, it makes these people feel in control of the process. They didn't say, I was sold something. They said, I decided to buy something. This is the psychology of a buyer. Understanding this should make it easier for you to go out there and do what needs to be done. Question to you, if you get paid, are you okay with the person paying you feeling like they're the one that was in control? I don't know about you, but I'm okay with that. Are you okay with that? Second question, are you okay with it even if it means having to ask for their business more than once or twice? The answer should be yes. If you truly have something that's helping somebody, then the answer should be unequivocally yes. The secret of no is this. No is almost always not just no. No is typically shorthand for not yet, given the current information available to me. So here's a trick I recommend you play on yourself that will make you a lot more money. When you hear the word no, don't hear it like this, hear it like this. No, K-N-O-W, as in they need to know more. Here's something for you to write down. Would you like to hear a single phrase I coined as a result of this thinking that has made me millions of dollars straight up? Yeah, here it is. New information, new decision. The only reason somebody doesn't say yes right away is they haven't heard the right amount of information that would make them likely to say yes. Studies prove most sales occur after the 5th time you ask. So just to be safe, I'm prepared to ask up to 26 times. I like to overdo it. Now, how do you feel that this type of thinking would benefit you if you were to adopt it? Better to overdo it than underdo it. Now, preparation is key here. People don't wander around and find themselves at the top of Mount Everest. The easiest things you can do to make money are also the things people are the least likely to do because they don't realize spectacular results are often preceded by unspectacular education. So I want you to promise Zig, promise Kevin, promise me that you'll commit to this, please, to prep in a way that you feel comfortable and are prepared to ask more than once, if it makes sense. If I could sell you on anything that can have an immediate improvement on your ability to sell and to serve others, if there was one single thing you can do that would be valuable for you for the rest of your life, what I would sell you on is not only the most powerful thing you can do ASAP, it's also the easiest. In fact, my only concern when selling it to you is that it's deceptively simple. I share the following with you, knowing that for most people I've shared this with in the past, and nothing has come of it. However, I've never laid the groundwork like I have today to impart upon you the vital importance of the topic of selling. So my hope is this will help give me the leverage for you to actually do what I'm about to show you, to make yourself a fortune, and then just give me a little bit of credit. If you want to get wealthy, do you want to get wealthy? If you want to get wealthy, here's what you need to do. Memorize sales closes. That's it? Yeah, that's it. When it comes to closes, I've studied more closers than just about anybody. A close to me is like a fine wine. I savor it. I get excited about it. It's vintage to me. If I could build a whole cellar of closes, I would in my home. And out of all the closers and all the closes I've studied, I'm going to tell you by far Zigs are the best. Period. Zigs are the best. I want you to do this little thought experiment with me. If you were to break into my home at night, awake me from a dead sleep, put a loaded gun to my head and say, Jason, start closing, go. I could rattle off any of the following closes automatically, reflexively, as easy as breathing to you. All of these closes you see coming on your screen right now, and more actually than even these. These are the ones I just know 100% certainly I could do exactly word for word even today. If you were to break in, wake me up and say, start closing. Just memorizing sales closes. Here's why I recommend you memorize Zig's. First, each of his closes are an educational process by which you are able to raise the value of the product or service in the prospect's mind, and then therefore new information, new decision, remember? Now, if you care about your customers, you owe it to them to close. And if you're going to do something, doesn't it make sense to do it right? That's the first part of memorizing closes. Here's the second part of memorizing Zig's closes. You learn the structure behind the close, so you can start to create your own closes in your own voice for your own products. Now, here's the deal. What comes out of your mouth is determined by what you put into your mind. And no matter how much you want to help, you can't give what you don't have. So question to you is, doesn't it make sense to learn to crawl before you walk and walk before you run? So why do so many people not want to memorize sales closes when you could just do one a day? That's what I did. I said, I'm going to memorize one close a day. 6 months later, I have 180 closes memorized. And I just memorized Zig's. I'd write one down on a 3x5 note card and carry it with me, wake up in the morning and not know it, go to bed at night knowing it. Simple as that. Why don't they do it? Ignorance or laziness. I don't know. One or the other. Here's a shortcut. To give you a taste, here are 3 simple questions every human who considers themselves in the business of helping others should be able to use. Are you ready for these 3 questions? If you don't memorize anything else, memorize these 3. Practice these 3. Question number 1, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 meaning you're ready to invest, where do you stand right now? Bonus follow-up question. And if it's not a 10, what would it take to get you to a 10? This is the easiest close that you can use that can be extremely effective for asking for the order. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 meaning you're ready to invest, where do you stand right now? What an excellent question. I didn't make that one up. I learned it from Zig. Question number 2. If I saw you were if I saw you were about to make a serious mistake that would cost you time and money, would you prefer I tell you, or is it none of my business? What an excellent question, because this sets up the close. Question number 3. If there were a way I could show you that the price is more than fair and the product is worth every dime we're asking, would you go ahead and take advantage of our offer today? Simple as that. That's it. How much do you want to make money? Do you want to make it bad enough that you're willing to invest a couple of minutes a day for the next week to memorize these closes? And here's what you need to know. Buyers are liars. If buyers could tell the truth as clearly and concisely as possible, here's what they would actually say to you. They would say the following: hey, make me feel secure that a yes decision is the right decision for me. That's what they really want. That's why you need to know these closes. Not only do you owe it to them, but you get rewarded financially and spiritually by making it so. Listen, this is not Mickey Mouse stuff. This is pro-level persuasion. This is not earn a living, get by stuff. This is making a fortune stuff. This is the stuff the 5% do to make 88% of the money while the rest fight over scraps. Here's the plain truth. Life is easy when you live it the hard way, and it's hard when you live it the easy way. And for most people, it's hard to invest in themselves and their own education, to study the masters, to learn the closes, to get out of the comfort zone, to dare to be something greater than you currently are. Here's the missing ingredient. Look, if you don't have conviction, you won't do this. People are persuaded more by the depth of your conviction than the height of your logic. That's what Zig says. There is no reason why someone like Kevin Harrington is motivated to go out there and make another dollar today. He's done it to the tune of billions. I've done it to the tune of hundreds of millions. I'm trying to catch up to him. The motivation is I need another dollar in my pocket like I need another hole in my head. We do this because we are convinced that this is the most needed thing for you right now, right here. This is the most helpful thing for you right now, right here. This is the most required thing you need right now, right here. Here's something that should scare you. So Harvard Business Review just published this. Americans haven't saved enough for retirement. What are we going to do about it? Doesn't it shock you that a vast majority of people in the U.S., which is the most financially literate country in the whole world, are still going to be financial failures by the age of 65? And isn't it also heartbreaking that the majority of the population is unhappy, sad with their position in life, and lack confidence in themselves and their ability? They're too caught up about what's on their news feeds to focus on what needs to be done. Today, I sell you a masterclass, and you know what I sell you? I sell you nothing. I am selling you nothing. Here's what I'm doing. I'm helping you reclaim what is already inside of you, which was lost to you before you were 6 years old, beaten out of you by your friends, your teachers, your parents, and society at large. What I'm selling you today, most people will say that it won't work in today's environment, and they're generally correct. It won't. It won't work only because most people aren't willing to do the work, yet are more than eager to complain about the situation that they find themselves in. Here's the reality. There's a never-ending line of gurus, salespeople, thought leaders who are willing to offer you their solutions, well-intentioned or otherwise, most often wrapped up in the prettiest of pretty bows, told only in terms that are the most pleasing to the ears, regardless of whether it actually lines up with reality or not, telling you what you want to hear, not what you need to hear, because they fear it will get in the way of making a buck. Zig's most famous quote is, you can have everything you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want. And let me ask you this. Do you agree with this? Do you agree with this quote? You can have everything in life that you want if you just give enough other people what they want. I want you to consider this. Do you anticipate being in a situation in the near future where your ability to persuade will largely determine a great outcome or prevent a horrible outcome? That if you can persuade, a great outcome will be achievable by the other party. Or if you can persuade, you could stop them from making a horrible decision. Do you anticipate sometime in the future that this situation is going to occur in your life? The answer is, of course, yes. Now, do you feel learning the best ethical selling techniques in the world would be helpful to you? And how much could it be worth to you? Consider this. Do you feel that there's an abundance of opportunity, and those who are most prepared to act upon it will enjoy the greatest rewards? Do you feel that the very best ever Zig-in-a-Box selling course that exists, which is this course, will enable you to enjoy these wonderful rewards that await you, especially when you get Kevin Harrington as a bonus? Oh my God, that's the, but wait, there's more. Now get this. Since I've been tasked with this most important life mission up to this point in my life, to bring back this forgotten hidden treasure that Zig has produced, which has not been available, some of which has never been available to the public ever, combined with the standing on the shoulders of the giant stuff that Kevin has put in and baked into this product, and now for the first time is sharing it ever with this Secrets of Closing the Sale Masterclass, I did a lot of preparation and research for today. In my research, going through every piece of material of Zig's I can, since I now have everything at my disposal, I came across this sales close of Zig's that hit me like a bolt of lightning when I read it. And I believe that there's no better way to illustrate the difference between near unlimited financial success and abundance and the just getting by, which is what most people settle for. So I took this close and I updated it slightly, and I think it might be just the thing you need to hear right now if your bank balance isn't where you'd like it to be. This is Always Dreaming. The horse Always Dreaming. In 2017, Always Dreaming won the Kentucky Derby and the purse that went with it, which was $1,200,000. $240,000, which is a lot of money for one race, isn't it? So Always Dreaming was the champion, okay? This is a picture of Practical Joke. This was the horse that got 5th place in 2017 in the Kentucky Derby, and he won $60,000. That's not quite nearly as much as $1.2 million. It's a lot less, isn't it? Now, what's the difference between Always Dreaming, who won $1.24 million, and Practical Joke, which only won $60,000? Well, I'll tell you what the difference is. It's simple. Always Dreaming was 20 times faster than the horse that got 5th. Wait. That's not right. That's not right at all. You want to know what the difference was between $1.2 million and $60,000? Here was the difference. 9.5 lengths. 9.5 lengths of a horse was the difference between $1.2 million and $60,000. And you know who got 6th in that race? Tap Rit. And guess how much Tap Rit made? $0. That's 10.25 lengths behind. Tap Rit was 10.25 lengths behind the winner. And that's the difference between millions of dollars and nothing. Here's what's important. The difference between excellence and mediocre is like the difference between closing and losing. You want to know what the difference is between closing and losing? Let me show it to you. It's one single letter. That's the difference. The difference between success and failure, between greatness and mediocrity, between earning a living and having a fortune. You know what the difference is? It's seconds. It's ounces. It's inches. It's just a few words. Here's what I know about you. You were designed for accomplishment. You were engineered for success, and you were endowed with the seeds of greatness. You were born to win, but to be a winner, you must plan to win, prepare to win, and expect to win. Are you ready to win now and forever? Then I have just the thing for you. It's with great pleasure that I introduce the first of its kind, The Secrets of Closing the Sale, with Kevin Harrington and Zig Ziglar. Not only do you get the very best of Zig selling and closing secrets, much of which has never been seen before, unless you took the big, expensive $5,000, $10,000, $50,000 corporate trainings that Zig used to perform when he was alive. You also get all of Kevin's secrets. And Kevin has launched over 20 companies that have done $100 million plus in sales. And a lot of it has to do with this tease, please, seize formula, which you're seeing on your screen, which is just one of the many, many wonderful things that Kevin and Zig have waiting for you. This is what Kevin says, to quote, "I've launched more than 500 products generating over $5 billion in global sales, and I owe it all to the secrets I learned from my sales mentor, the great Zig Ziglar." What do you get in this brand new Secrets of Closing the Sale with Zig and Kevin? First, you get the 7 secret sales vaults. Vault number 1, the black box. It contains the first 6 secrets. In this vault, you'll discover how indispensable your idea, product, or service really is to the rest of the world. This clarity will help you on what you're selling and the real reasons why you aren't selling it. The 3-step magical transformation close, because once you can transform yourself, transforming others becomes a snap. The sell value exercise to immediately up-level your abilities. The 4-step dream achievement model to make you a meaningful, specific, not a wandering generality. That's vault number 1. Vault number 2, the invisible asset, contains the next 5 secrets, including the sacred 4 powerful questions exercise to put you on the path to immediate and imminent success. A content audit approach to your own life to uncover the easiest wins in your life with the least amount of effort. Your mental diet plan to clean out all the junk in your mind that gets in the way of being the best you. The action cues to take your performance over the top, because good selling comes from good people, and you are the most important sell that you'll ever make. Next is Vault 3, the genius approach, containing the next 5 secrets. Now that you understand the value of selling, you've learned your role in the sales process, it's time to discover the power of building win-win relationships. This is where money starts to get made in serious order. The sales integrity self-assessment to discover and accelerate your strengths and uncover where you're weak, so you can double up on the good and kill off the bad once and for all. Kevin's 4-step process to repair broken relationships and rebuild trust, since relationships and trust are where you can make immediate and significant income. Zig's 4 secrets of fear, and just by being aware of these 4 things, things, I can guarantee your life will be better this year than last. Knowing who to help and who not to help so you can make the biggest impact. Your Prime the Pump action plan to start helping others get what they want so you could get everything that you want. Vault number 4 is the hidden arts, containing the next 8 secrets. You'll find out about the plan, prepare, expect, 7-step formula for unparalleled achievement, how to use emotion plus logic to close more often at higher prices and with happier customers. Zig's QUIET quiet framework to use when confronted by objections, since objections more than anything can make or break the sale. Words you should use in almost every single presentations and words you should never use. The 10 best questions to ask during the sales process to double or triple your close rates, because you know how important questions are, right? Vault number 5 is the Closers Collection, and it has the next 8 secrets. This is how you get what Zig calls a closing instinct, a sixth sense that you can develop over time so you essentially become an assistant buyer. And this is going to be great for you because you're going to learn not only the closing instincts to become an assisted buyer, why you should shine light on your competition, by the way. This will make you more money, yet nobody knows this. Kevin does this better than anybody I know. When he sells on infomercials, he brings the competition out and brags about them. This is a huge secret that you're going to get your hands on. Your Clarity Closing Guide, you can follow step by step to close more sales more often and feel much more comfortable when closing, plus the Closing Bonus Pack. These are the closes I've used to make millions and which Kevin has used to make billions, word for word for word. I've used many of these closes today. Everything I've done today so far with you has been something I've learned directly from Zig. Vault number 6, the Grand Reveal holds the next 7 secrets. The Grand Reveal is more than just hanging out your shingle and waiting for customers to come to you. It's understanding your own story and why you can become an influencer. It's seeking out and developing relationships with ideal customers, not just available customers. You're going to learn how the prospecting journal sheet shows you exactly who you need to help right now and who is more than happy to pay for it. How to create your story so you're not out there even really selling as so much out there making money and helping others. The 9-step process for your personal brand story to make you stand out from everyone else and get more sales and provide more value. Turn on your prospect awareness using Zig's interview technique with the POGO method. There's so much wealth out there. Most just have their eyes shut to it, but not you and not anymore. The 5 areas of knowledge related to any product. Go through this short exercise and you have such an incredible advantage for selling anyone's product, not just your own. And then vault number 7, the last vault, your dream team holds the final 5 secrets. Your dream team can push your success over the top. You're going to learn how to harness the power of the gig economy and why now it's cheaper and easier, if you know how, to assemble a dream team that is unbeatable in the value it provides to the market. Who should be on your dream team? The right team can 100x your success, and now you'll know exactly who you need and how to get them, how to get and leverage celebrities, and how you can do this for next to nothing, and so much more. With these 7 vaults, you get videos, you get audios from both Kevin and Zig that you get to watch straight up right there. You can communicate, you can ask questions, you can join in the discussion. You also get these wonderful worksheets. There's so many of them. They're so incredible. They're so easy to use. You get reference guides. You get transcripts of all the videos. You have the ability to connect in this private secrets of closing the sale Facebook community. And what can this do for you? Can this make you millions like it did for Chris Wallace? Multi-million dollars a year using the closest techniques and mindset that Zig and Kevin have perfected. Or like Barry, within the first month he was promoted and become one of the top 2 salespeople in his organization at the age of 22. Or Heather closed almost 20 million in product sales last year with the principles of the secret of closing the sales masterclass. Or John Lee Dumas, who's one of the top podcasters in the whole wide world. Or Dave Ramsey, who I'm sure you've seen on television, having his own show and syndicating it. And he says, I got to tell you, the information that Zig put out gave us the confidence we could sit down with the customer and serve them. If you don't, your life will be lesser for it, not having this. Skip Pritchard, who's made millions of dollars with what he's learned from Zig. Michael Hyatt, who is, again, multi-millions of dollars from everything that he's learned, what he saw from Zig Ziglar. Secrets of closing the sale masterclass. The value in here is something people have paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for and has made countless fortunes and positively impacted millions of lives beyond just the extra money that it's made for those who have followed this. If you're not making the money you want, you have a problem with selling, straight up. But you don't drown by falling in water. You only drown by staying in there. Here is your ticket to a better tomorrow, to success, to financial independence, to help everyone else get what they want so you can get everything that you want. To get started is simple. I want you to go to zigsecrets.com/yes. Go ahead and put that into your browser right now. And you can decide if you want to do one time of $19.99 or instead 6 installments of $374 spaced 30 days apart. When you sign up, either with the 6 installment option or the one time, you get immediate access to the first vault right away, and then each vault after that is unlocked week by week. This is the price of success right here, $19.99 or 6 installments of $374. And let me tell you, the price of success in this case is way lower than the price of failure when you go to zigsecrets.com/yes. And I think you're going to find this investment more than fair when you realize that any product is worth what it can do for you, not what you pay for it. And what can this do? Excuse me. And what can this do for you? It can make anything you do more powerful. It can make any approach you follow more effective. It can make it to where the more you help others, the more you benefit financially and spiritually. What can it do for you? It can make the greatest contribution to society, to your family, to the world at large, to turn all those almost had it moments into realities, to live well and to live beautifully. That's what this can do for you. What can it do for you? It can turn fear from forget everything and run to face everything and rise. It can help you join the 5% of salespeople who make almost 90% of all the sales. It can make your life one worth remembering. When you go to zigsecrets.com/yes and say yes to this, and it's only available, as you'll see when you go there, and sign up for a very limited time with this special deal. But wait, there's more. Zig taught Kevin and I that the fear of loss is greater than the desire of gain. So to reward you today for making a smart investment in yourself, if you act while the special offer is available, I have a treasure trove of hand-picked Zig and Kevin exclusive bonuses that I can make available for you today to take you over the top. Bonus number 1, your personal brand. So this is created by Kevin. This is the secret that Kevin used to build brands like Tony Little, like Jack LaLanne, like Billy Mays, and now build his own brand. Who better to teach you about building your own personal brand than the $5 billion original shark? This is the secret of how Kevin was an original member of Shark Tank and the difference between the best deals that were made and the ones that were not so good on the show. How to build an undeniable personal brand without ever even having to leave your home. This training is very conservatively valued at $499. It's yours for free as long as you sign up fast enough at zigsecrets.com/yes. Bonus number 2, the top performance formula. So this is Zig's son, Tom Ziglar. So Tom Ziglar walks you through this special training where he talks about the performance formula, A times E times S equals P. So you could become the top 5% in sales, sales management, or whatever job for that matter. This is the real secret behind the famous saying of Zig's that anything worth doing is worth doing poorly until you can learn how to do it well. And this is the game plan that allows you to reach more people on a regular basis. This is very, very conservatively valued at $277. And frankly, it's worth far more than that. It's yours for free in addition to Kevin's personal brand training, also for yours for free when you go to zigsecrets.com/yes. Bonus number 3. This comes from the Ziglar Foundation. This is a wonderful, wonderful training. Bonus number 3 is Building the Best You. This is a multiple lesson program. I believe there's 14 lessons here. There's at least 12 that you can see that help you become the most successful, best you, most optimal you as possible. This is a training that goes for $349, a full-on training course. I have the ability, because I get to decide what I can say and stack to make this special offer even more special to you. So I'm throwing this in for you today. I'm throwing in the bonus number 3, which is worth $349, plus bonus number 2, Tom Ziglar's top performance formula, plus the first bonus, your personal brand. All of these for free when you sign up at zigsecrets.com/yes before that countdown timer hits 0. Bonus number 4, becoming a key influencer. This is another special bonus that Kevin Harrington is making available to you. In it, you'll discover the 7 elements of influence so you can make the best deals and become the top name in your industry. Kevin walks you through the ins and outs of his proprietary influencer formula: pitch, publish, productize, profile, partnerships, plan, and people. I would be more than comfortable selling this to you for twice the investment that you would have to put down to get your hands on zigsecrets.com/yes today. The whole thing, just this one thing alone. This is extremely conservatively valued at $642. It's also yours for free. In addition to the bonus of Building the Best You from the Ziglar Foundation, the top performance formula by Zig's son, Tom Ziglar, your own personal brand training by the original shark, Kevin Harrington. Bonus number 5, the perfect pitch. Another wonderful Kevin Harrington bonus for you. Of the thousands of pitches that Kevin has heard, here's the winning formula for raising funds or capital to fund your ideas and your dreams. The tease, the please, the demo, wait, there's more, social proof, competitive advantage, magic transformation, the money ask, the marketing and sales plan, and getting the money. This is really, it's worth millions, but it's very, very conservatively valued at $488. It's yours for free if you sign up fast enough at zigsecrets.com/yes. This bonus, in addition to the bonus of becoming a key influencer, plus the bonus of building the best you, plus the bonus of the top performance formula, plus the bonus of your personal brand. Is that it? There's even more. So this is what's really wonderful, because so many people have been helped by Zig. This is Sandler Training. So Sandler Training is one of the top sales training organizations that is alive and thriving today. And they said, hey, we would like to contribute based on our debt of gratitude to Zig Ziglar this whole training called No Guts, No Gain. This is a program that will show you how to get tough, take control of your life, plant your feet, close more sales, and make more money. And this isn't just some little tiny thin bonus either. Look at this thing. This is all this training, workbooks, toolkits, program audios, peer forums, self-study lessons, the building block of success, the barriers of success, the anatomy of failure and risking, et cetera, games. Look at all of this and more. This retails every single day for $197 to the public. It is yours, negotiated on our behalf to you, that you can get for free as long as you act fast enough at zigsecrets.com/yes. zigsecrets.com/yes. All of these bonuses plus bonus number 7, the 100x growth. This is a three-part video and worksheet series led by Kevin Harrington, where he talks about the core secret, a simple exercise to take the number of people you're helping now, times it by 100, and the secret to serving those 100x more without working any harder. So if you're helping 10 people right now, times it by 100. Kevin's going to walk you through exactly how to do that in a way that you'll see 100 times growth simply by doing this exercise. The multiplier training, the exact way to ask the right questions to lead to more sales and more value in the world. The blueprint training, a proven approach to give you the best, greatest confidence to interact with people in a way that provides the most value and creates the most recurring revenue. This is a value of $255. It's yours for free. If you total all of these up, the total value is an extremely conservative $2,707 of real-world actual value. It is yours for free as long as you say yes before this offer expires. And you can say yes when you go to zigsecrets.com/yes. Take the one time for $19.99, or if you prefer to spread it out over 6 monthly installments, 30 days apart at $374. That's your decision. Either way, you get everything, all the bonuses, all the vaults get unlocked to you. The first one's immediately available. The next 6 are released, 1 a week, until they're all yours to use for life, forever. So go ahead and sign up now at zigsecrets.com/yes, knowing that fully confidently you can make your decision, since you risk nothing and you gain everything. Simply sign up. And this, if you don't feel like you've gotten 10 times your value today, just drop a line at support@zigsecrets.com and ask us for a refund. And as long as you return all the materials, boom, done. You get everything back. You get all your money back, and you're out nothing. And anything you've learned, anything that you've discovered that have made you better, you can keep it and you can use it for the rest of your life at zigsecrets.com/yes. Now, here's what's important. I am going to take some questions here very shortly. And I have someone from my team who's already identified some important questions that I'm going to cover. In addition, I have a few more tricks up my sleeve to stack the value in your favor, with an important reason why for what are essentially bribes. I'm bribing you to do what I think is in your best interest. But before we get to that, though, there are a few things I want to address first. There is a ticking clock. Secrets only opens up for a limited time to make sure we can responsibly serve and support our clients. And when the countdown timer hits 0 on that page, it does, in fact, close. And when last time it was open for a short period of time and it closed, afterwards, Kevin got some feedback. He got 60 pages of feedback from people asking them of, hey, if you didn't invest, why didn't you invest? I want to get to know you better and understand that. I've read every one of those 60 pages because I care that much and I'm that sincere in helping you. And this was a majority of the feedback. Right now, what is holding me back is the window is closed. And Richard says, I found out about the class after it closed. And somebody else here says, I'm very sorry, please. I had the intention of joining, but got carried away. And I still wish to join if permitted because it was closed. I went to join, but I was put on the waiting list because it was closed. I went to the site. It was closed. Yes, what's holding me back from joining? Nothing. As soon as I heard about it, I tried to join it. It was already full. It was closed, right? This is not a joke. One of the things I've learned about from Zig is you have to be a person of integrity if you want to be an excellent salesperson. And so if I say the thing is going to close when it hits zeros, it's going to close. If I say anything is going to happen because I know that that will make me more money and that will allow me to serve and help more people by being true to my word. So this is very real. When you go to zigsecrets.com/yes, if that countdown timer in fact does hit 0, it's closed. Now let's discuss the investment. There are 2 ways to get started today, $19.99 once or 6 monthly installments of $374. To help you understand what an incredible deal this is, let me ask you a question. Unlike most courses that are offered today, how long do you think Secrets with Zig and Kevin will be valuable to you? 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, 100 years, a lifetime? Most people, if you were to put them to a lie detector test and ask them this question, the answer is going to be lifetime worth of value. This is going to continue to get even more valuable through you throughout the years. Okay? It's a lifetime of value. But let's just be safe. Let's just say 5 years. You say, I get value of this for 5 years, and then it's no longer valuable to me, Jason. Fair enough. Let's just go with 5 years. 5 years is also 1,825 days. In other words, that's about $1.11 per day to invest in something that will directly increase your money, your net worth, and your sales worth. Do you think $1.11 a day is worth it for what I'm offering you today? With all the bonuses, with all the training, with all the community, with everything that this can do for you. That's the quote-unquote cost of your investment today. The reality is the real cost is in not signing up. Would it be reasonable that Secrets could help you close at least 10 more sales per year that you otherwise wouldn't close? That means over 5 years, that's 50 sales. If each sale you made was $100 profit, and most of you probably sell something that's more than that, that's $5,000 of extra cash in your pocket, free and clear. That's what it costs you. You would lose $5,000, so it costs you $5,000 not to say yes today. It costs you $1.11 per day to take Secrets. But by not taking Secrets, you lose at least $5,000, meaning it costs you over twice as much to not sign up today than it does to sign up today. To be clear here, either way, it will cost you. Either way, it will cost you. Saying yes will cost you at the very most $1.11 per day, and that's a super conservative figure. Probably cost you less than that for the value it could do for you. But at the very least, it will cost you at the very least $2.73 per day to not sign up. And if you're an overachiever, the cost of not signing up will actually be in the hundreds of thousands or even the millions. That will be the real cost for you. So either way, you're going to have to pay the price. And the price of success in this case is obviously a better deal than the price of failure. zigsecrets.com/yes. Now let me tell you about a massive hidden benefit of saying yes today to the secrets of closing the sale masterclass. Let me share with you a story I heard when I first went through the secrets training that you can get access today to when you go to zigsecrets.com/yes. This is literally a quote from the training that I'm going to share with you that Zig said. Zig tells the following story. I was having breakfast with the president and we got to talking. He explained to me that he could take any 100 of his salespeople and provided they had been selling for at least 1 year, he could, without checking a single record as far as their sales were concerned, tell you within 5 percentage points of what the entire group would produce for the year. He said, you know, Zig, all I'd have to do is look at the amount of life insurance they covered or carried on their own life, and then I could predict within 5 points of what they were going to sell. Because you see, the depth of their belief in the product will determine their success in the sale of the product. So this was an insurance company. This was the president of it. So he could simply tell you how successful somebody would be if they owned the product or if they didn't own it. So what's the point? The point is this. It's hard to sell other people unless you go first. Once you invest in these selling techniques, how much easier is it going to be for you to get other people to invest based on the use of these selling techniques? Here's a secret. Every single selling technique I've used with you here today is something I've learned from this training. And you might not be nearly as good as me the first time you use it or second or third time, but that's okay because I've made over $100 million in sales over the years and I'm just beginning. But would it be okay if you were 1% as good as 100 million? You know what 1% of 100 million is? It's $1 million. Simply investing in yourself and in your selling performance will make it easier to ask for the orders for the things you do and will sell in the future. zigsecrets.com/yes. Go first, and then help other people go for whatever it is that you're selling. And if investment is your primary concern, take the installment option. It's actually $374, not $376. So it's a typo. And before month 2, all you got to do is just sell twice that month. And this course is already better than free. So you say, okay, if my investment is $374, I just got to make 2-3 sales each month. And the course is already more than paid for itself. Now, I understand for some of you, it may take going the extra mile for you to make this type of investment because it's a serious investment. But as Zig says, there is no traffic jam on the extra mile. And just as important, Zig also says, you cannot solve a problem until you acknowledge that you have one and accept responsibility for solving it. And if you don't have the wealth you'd like, you, my friend, have a selling problem. Simple as that. Now is the time to fix this by leapfrogging right up to the best instead of settling for the get by. At zigsecrets.com/yes. Now, here's something I noticed when I went through the first amount of feedback before they brought me in. I'd done a lot of research. Having done my research, there is a chance, I'm very aware that there might be a chance that you have already recently invested a considerable investment in another course that promised you a lot of riches and other benefits that sounded really good. And I'm here to first congratulate you on making that investment in yourself, which is rare and should be celebrated. My question to you is this: how complimentary is this going to be for you with the investment that you just make? I am fully confident, and this is why I put the money back guarantee attached to this to prove this to you, that this investment today will take whatever else you've recently invested in and supercharge it, because sales supercharges everything else. So if you bought something that's currently topical, as in it, there's a lot of possibility to use it in the here and now, and you combine it with this investment today, you'll have an edge you can't get anywhere else. Whatever you've invested in, either recently or otherwise, is now going to be supercharged when you combine it with secrets. And I know you've invested in things in the past that weren't quite complete. And I know having secrets is going to connect those dots for you that are oh so close to being connected right now. And I push because I care. Listen, I'm asking you. I'm not even necessarily asking you. I'm pushing you because I care about your future and your financial well-being. Listen, if you encounter 20 people a week, that's 1,000 people a year. An increase of 10% in your closing is 100 more sales. If what you sell is only $100 of profit, that's $10,000 in profit. Or put it another way, that is at least 1 month of work that you no longer have to do to make the same amount of money. So when you say, Jason, I don't have any time, I just gave you an extra month to your year. So you can literally make the same amount of money and take a whole more month off simply with what secrets is available to you to unlock for you at zigsecrets.com/yes. And if that ain't worth the investment today, you have serious things to consider in your life, because this saves you time. If you knew for certain that secrets would both make you more money while saving you more time, would you sign up immediately? If you knew for certain that secrets would both make you more money while saving you more time, and it was backed by 100% satisfaction money back guarantee, would you sign up immediately? Because that's exactly what it is, and that's exactly what it does. And if that is not clear, then it's because I have failed to communicate that to you properly, because it's exactly what it is. Secrets will allow you to close more sales in less time and for more money. Remember, everyone is a salesperson, and sales is the worst paid profession if you do it poorly, or it's the best paid profession if you do it well. And who do you owe it to when it comes to doing it well? And the answer is everybody. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to your family. You owe it to your clients. You owe it to the world. And now is the time. See, many years ago, Andrew Carnegie at one point said, they said Andrew Carnegie was the richest man in the world. And here's what he said. Literally quoted, Andrew Carnegie said the following: show me a person who can make a decision, act on that decision, and stay with that decision, and I'll show you someone who will succeed. Successful business people are almost unanimous in their agreement on this principle. So doesn't it make sense for you to act today with purpose and certainty and sincerity? And yes, the answer to that is of course. Go to zigsecrets.com/and get started. But wait, there's even more. I do have a couple more bonuses for you, though, because I'm so excited to reward you for making a smart decision. I think the best decision you can make in 2018 for your business and your personal life, that in addition to all of these bonuses that you get for free, as long as you invest before the countdown timer hits 0, you get the personal brand bonus with Kevin Harrington. on how he became an original shark, what his secret is there. The Top Performance Formula by Tom Ziglar, which is Zig Ziglar's son. The Building the Best You from the Ziglar Foundation, a full-on training, becoming a key influencer by Kevin Harrington. The Perfect Pitch, another bonus by Kevin Harrington that he's used to perfect $5 billion worth of sales. The No Guts, No Game by one of the top sales training organizations in the world right now, who as a debt of gratitude to Zig says, here, we'll offer this for free as well. The 100X Growth Formula training program that Kevin has broken down as well. All of these for you for free, in addition to saying yes to zigsecrets.com/yes. Bonus number 8, professional closing techniques. This is another vintage video training by Zig, where you'll discover all kinds of closes. Here's just a small taste of some of the closes that you'll discover in this special bonus. You'll also learn how to sell more without selling it all, and why it's better if you know 1 or 2 or 3 good closes and use them professionally than to know 50 closes and use them poorly. You're going to get this bonus on top of everything else. Bonus number 9, Zig walks you through this training, 25 professional sales secrets. Let me give you a taste. Sales secret number 6 is sitting on both sides of the table, thinking as a buyer and a seller. He breaks that down. Secret number 10 is to put the ball into the prospect's court. He breaks that down. Secret number 13 is find out if you have a prospect, knowing if you have somebody who should say yes to your offer or not. He breaks that down. Secret number 18, don't panic when the customer seems to be backing out. He tells you what to do. He breaks that down. Secret number 22, tie down the details. He breaks that down. Would you like this bonus as well? It's yours. All 9 of these bonuses are available to you today when you sign up at zigsecrets.com/yes before the countdown timer hits 0. Bonus number 10, successful sales psychology. This is another special lost to the public Zig training. The only 5 reasons prospects won't buy. Zig breaks them down and what to do about it. Why the law of averages can get you into major trouble in sales and significantly limit your growth. I recommend you remove that from your vocabulary. Why the best prospects often show no interest in what to do in a specific situation. This is a huge insight, because typically the people that are going to make you the most money are going to pretend to be aloof. And this is how you understand that fair amount and then take this and make money with it. How to discover everything you need to know about your prospect to get them to say yes. All this is available to you. All 10 of these bonuses, plus anything else I've said on this webinar, is available to you at zigsecrets.com/yes if you sign up before the end of this webinar, before the countdown timer hits 0. Plus, would you like direct access to ask Kevin Harrington, the original shark himself, questions on live trainings, live web-based trainings? Well, you can. Once a quarter, exclusively to customers of Secrets of Closing the Sale Masterclass. You could get on 4 Q&A calls with Kevin Harrington. You can ask specific questions about the training, about your own success, about anything to Kevin personally on these calls. Now, people routinely pay thousands of dollars for minutes of Kevin's time, and he's making himself available freely on these calls exclusively to Secrets of Closing the Sales members. This bonus and all these other bonuses, are total value easily exceeds $3,589 in real value, millions of dollars in potential value. All this is yours for free when you sign up for Secrets of Closing the Sales Masterclass with Zig Ziglar and Kevin Harrington. zigsecrets.com/yes. Sign up now. Get access to the vault, all 7 vaults, all 43 secrets. Vault number 1, the black box. Vault number 2, the invisible asset. Vault number 3, the genius approach. Vault number 4, the hidden arts. Vault number 5, the closers collection. Vault number 6, the grand reveal. Vault number 7, the dream team. You get full training from Kevin, the $5 billion man. You get full video motion training from Zig with the ability to have discussion and interaction. You also get the worksheets. You also get the reference guides. You also get the transcripts. You also get the videos. You also have the ability to connect and discuss the training with other clients of the masterclass who have already signed up, joined the thousands of people who have made a smart decision and have said yes to improving themselves professionally and personally. All this and more is yours today when you say yes at zigsecrets.com/yes. You're backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go ahead, get started, get signed up right now. Now, I have a couple questions that have already popped in. Okay. Oh, interesting. Nice. Okay. I got something else that Kevin's team and Mark Tim, who's Kevin's business partner, who put this deal together, have made available. And so I'm going to mention that out loud. Okay, I have a couple questions. Instant access to this, first of all. And the answer to that is no. We don't believe it's in your best interest to give you a sip from a fire hose. So these 44 secrets, I said 43 earlier, I meant 44, they are released one vault at a time, one vault a week. So in 7 weeks, you'll have access to all 7 vaults. The first vault, though, is immediately available to you. So actually in 6 weeks, you'll have access to all 7 vaults. All the bonuses, essentially, that are available digitally are theirs for yours to immediately use. Now, if you're one of the 17 people, I'll have to get an update to see if we ran out of those books. Then you get the over-the-top bonus as long as you're one of the first 17 to sign up for the one-time investment of $19.99. That is also yours as well. So a lot of the bonuses, a lot of the things are immediately available. Other things are intentionally released in a certain time frame that we have found has worked the best for our clients. And if I was smart enough, which I will be eventually, because this is the first time I brought this out to public and you've gotten first chance at it. This is why I could really extra stack the deck in your favor, which I won't be able to do as great in the future for other people, is you should see inside the members area all these people that have invested already in what they're saying in there and part of the community, and nobody's being incentivized to say anything special or anything. They're just so excited because of how this training is laid out. And I want to give you that experience as well. So go to zigsecrets.com/yes. Get started. Is it my part as a seller to make them aware of the value of what I'm selling, or is that selling to rather than serving the customer? That's a great question. It is every bit your responsibility to make them aware of the value of what you're selling. Your job, your role is essentially, and I'm not sure when that question came in because we did talk about it, your role is essentially make it as easy as possible for someone to say yes to something. Most people are desperate to find things to exchange money for that they know are going to be more valuable than the money that they have. The biggest challenge is, first of all, finding those things. And you as a salesperson, that is why you get rewarded so justly, because you can help them find those things. But secondly, making it clear that it is the answer to their problem. That's the 5% of salespeople who make a majority of the money. The thing is, I've met these 5%ers, and they're nothing special in terms of they don't have some superhuman quality that most of the public can't easily acquire. They don't have some amazing, extraordinary ability that only 1 in a million prodigies are ever born with, right? They are fundamentally exactly like everybody else. They just know a little bit of this technique and a little bit of this mindset stuff that's all available to you at zigsecrets.com/yes, and that's it. How do I know which close is the right close for my service or product? Will the training help me decide? Great question. The answer is yes. First of all, there is no right close for your service or product. There are different closes that you should be able to use depending on different situations. And knowing that is more important than anything else. But I will tell you, there are some baseline closes that every single person should know. But I bet you 99 out of 100 people that showed up today don't know these. And giving them to you, having the ability to have them, is going to give a huge level up. That's why I have no problem asking you for this type of investment that I'm asking you for today, because I know it'll pay off 10, 50, 100, 1,000 times over just by knowing 1% of everything that's available in this training. And the more you want to put into this, the more you're going to get out of it. Is there training included that helps me narrow down who the right person to help is? Absolutely. That's a huge portion of the training. A lot of selling is essentially being able to know who needs help and who needs help right away. There are already people, I guarantee you, every single person that I know of who has went through this training and has went through the training to turn on their opportunity awareness of who they can help, they have found just in their reach already, as if under your nose, there are already tons of people that you can help. That alone could make the next year your most profitable year financially. Just that alone. This training shows you that. You ever heard the phrase, my mom always used to say, if it was a snake, it would have bit you. Like if I was looking for something that was right in front of me, if this was a snake, it would have bit you. Most of you are swimming in opportunity that is right there in front of you. And if it was a snake, it would have bit you. You just don't see it. One of the greatest sections of this training is unlocking that opportunity awareness from you and then combining that with a little bit of technique, which is the best technique you could ever learn from Zig. Oh my God. You'll wonder why you've ever had money problems before in your life once you get your hands on this. zigsecrets.com/yes. Ooh, I like this question. You know, I was going to put this in the presentation, but I ran out of time. Somebody asked, so why should I invest $19.99 when I can get all of Zig's books for much less? Well, first of all, you should get all of Zig's books. There's no doubt about that. Now, you're missing the other half of the equation because you don't get Kevin. You also don't get some of the things that are not available to purchase at any price to the public. And there's a lot of stuff that we put in here that has not been shown publicly, that's not in a book. It's stuff that Zig only taught in these corporate events that paid him $50,000 or more for training. But more important even than that, right, is this, is I'm sure you already have books that you've invested in. And maybe you got some value out of them. And that's true. I've gotten a lot of value out of books. But I have never gotten value out of books as I have in courses like these that build community around them, that have been so expertly laid out, that have been painstakingly, meticulously focused purely on serving and showing with full range video, full motion video, exercises, support, all of that and more. Curated, might I add, to be perfectly aligned with the here and now of today. I don't know how a book could ever compare with that. I'm not saying that books aren't valuable. Most of us got our first introduction to Zig through a book. But very few of us from a book alone are going to get the value that's awaiting us, or even close to it. Most of the people that buy books don't even read those books. Why? Because they're easy to buy, they're easy to get, they don't take much requirement. $20, yeah, you can go out and you can do it, but it puts all the work on you, puts all the effort on you, it puts a lot of time on you. This is the shortcut where it's like a laser that cuts right through and gets right down to business. I mean, if everybody who read Zig's books was successful as a result of them, there would be a million more millionaires. But it's not just the book. It's not just the course material. It's everything else that surrounds it. And that's why I'm fully confident you're going to get more for your money's worth. You're going to get more value with Kevin and with Zig, with all these bonuses, and with the community, and with the private members area, and with the full video, audio experience, and anything and everything in between. Okay. Whew. All right, so here's something else. I just got this from the Zig team. We will have a live event at some time here in the future, I believe later this year, and we can make tickets available to anybody who's taken the one-time access for certain. I don't know for certain if I can do this for anybody who signed up this far with the installment plan. But I believe I can at this point, as long as you sign up before the end of the webinar as an extra value add that's been put here today for you. All right? So go ahead, take this under consideration. If you need to talk to somebody, first of all, really consider, do you need to talk to somebody, or does this feel right? Should you make the investment right now, right here, right away? You do have a little bit of time to think it over, although I don't recommend it, because the longer you take to say yes, the longer it's going to be before you can enjoy the benefits of this. But you do have a little bit of a wiggle room. When that countdown timer hits 0, though, of course, it's done. Game over. This is your chance to get the best deal you're ever going to get on this by going to zigsecrets.com/s and signing up right now. And I look forward to seeing you in the inside and continuing to serve you.